Hi, and welcome to the Dingers podcast. I'm your host, Mitch. This is episode 82, and I'm here with my boy, Jeff, who just dropped his phone. He's recording.
I dropped my phone.
How are you tonight, Jeffrey?
Actually, kind of terrible. I got COVID, so I'm isolating at home. You know how that goes.
Yep. Are you feeling better?
No, not really. I feel the same as I did when I woke up. I woke up Sunday morning feeling like I had strep throat, itchy eyes, sore throat. I got a slight cough, nothing major, but so I failed an at-home test, tested positive. I went to the clinic today and got a test, so I'm waiting the results of that. But yeah, I'm pretty sure they're just going to tell me I have COVID, even if I don't. And I'm just going to hold this phone.
Well, hopefully you feel better. We missed you at the gym this morning. I mean, I'm good. We had a long weekend of baseball. Cannon is deep in the travel league or travel tournaments, and this weekend we had a big tournament. We played one of the best 8U teams that I've seen. This team did it all. Like they were as good as like a high school team. Get this. One kid, Cannon was like, we move our players around. They play different positions every inning. And Cannon was playing right field this inning. And a kid hit an absolute shot. Oppo. 210. Gone. Dinger.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was impressive.
Did he keep it close?
No, we lost like 35-0.
Holy cow. Where's the mercy rule?
Oh, we only played 3. There was a mercy rule. We only played 3. One Cannon later hit a dribbler to third base, and a kid like ran up on it, barehanded it, and gunned him out at first, like Arenado style play. Just like they were amazing. Their next game,
so much over the years.
Yeah, their next game, 2 different players on their team hit dingers.
Oh, good Lord.
They were good.
Usually, like a little league team like that.
But they weren't even in the
league. They could hit a dinger.
And this is 8U, 8 years and under, hitting 210 shots.
That's crazy. That's absolutely crazy, dude.
The one thing is they weren't even the best team at the tournament. There's another team, Midwest Iowa Elite, that they I think won it, and they're even better than that. Like it's just crazy how good. I mean, it was by the third game our team played a lot better. That was our very first tournament experience. The first team we were playing, I think that was like their 40th game already. So like they just live and die on the weekends playing tournaments. I mean, eventually those kids are going to get burnt out. They have to.
Yeah. I don't know how you stay excited about playing sports when that's like all you do. You come out of basketball season, you start playing baseball, and you play baseball until it's time for football.
Well, I don't even know if you're playing football. I looked over at the kid because I was a third base coach and looked over at the kid playing third base for their team. And he had a Wilson A2000 glove that's probably like a $360 glove. Like it's a nicer glove than what I had in college. He's 8 years and and I was like,
oh,
dude,
the kind of stuff you see kids show up to play in a little league tournament, like I remember the bag that had all the batting helmets. So like you didn't have your own batting helmet. We all shared batting helmets.
Yeah.
There's kids that have 2 or 3 bats these days. And they frame in
2 or 3 bats, 3
bag.
gloves, first baseman's glove, a catcher's glove, a pitcher's glove. Like they just have it all. Yep. Like this team was just decked out. And our team, I mean, they're just Ames kids just trying to get by. But man, we got it handed to us. By our third game, we hung close. We didn't get 10 run. We went 5 innings, lost, I think 12-6 or something like that. We made it close. Yeah, it was a good experience, fun time.
Well,
but
that's
our
the thing, the more
Cubbies,
they play, the better they'll get.
yeah.
I mean, is this really like the first year that a lot of them have played or played together anyway?
Yeah, this is the first, like 8U is the first time that they're actually playing together. Last year they were playing rec. So this time they have to play travel team plus rec. So, but it's good.
They'll get better.
Yep. Well, this episode is proudly part of the Shy City Sports Podcasting Network. Remember, we are free and available wherever you find our podcast. We're free and available. Download our podcast wherever you listen, whether it's Spotify, Apple. Download, listen, subscribe. Drop us a review. Give us a 5 stars review, and we want to hear from you. We also have a YouTube channel. Subscribe there, where you can get extra Dinger content as well as other Shy City Sports at Shy City Sports YouTube channel. And then follow us on Twitter at Dinger Cubs. We love interacting with you. We're almost to 1,000 followers on Twitter. I really want to get over 1,000. So maybe you could be our lucky 1,000th subscriber or follower on Twitter. So be that guy. Yeah.
Or gal.
Or gal. Or guy or gal. Yep. We got both sexes listening to us. Who's your crack your beer player of the week this week? Sponsored by Toppling Goliath Brewery in beautiful Decorah, Iowa. Go to TG Brews to get there's a beer finder, and you can look up where you can get your best top of beer in your area. So look it up. But who's your crack your beer player of the week this week?
I'm gonna go with Wade Miley. Even though he got a no decision yesterday, he still pitched 6 pretty strong innings, and he pitched well enough to give us an opportunity at a win. And his start before that was pretty impressive. So I'm going with Wade Miley. Who do you got?
I'm going with the tandem of Frank Schwindel and Patrick Wisdom, because they're basically one player now that they hit back-to-back dingers all the time. They are the first Cubs teammates to go back-to-back in consecutive games since 1969, which is impressive enough to go back-to-back in back-to-back games.
Right. It's kind of amazing that like Sammy Sosa and Ramos Ramirez never did it, or like Bryant and Rizzo, or Baez and Rizzo,
but not in back-to-back games. That's what's like. Because I remember last year, even towards my brother was at the game, and I think Bryant and Rizzo went back-to-back in one of the last homestands that they played. Maybe it was the second to last homestand that they played. They did it, and my brother was at the game. But our Cubbies dropped 3 of 4 to the D-backs, or what my son calls them, the Snakes. He was actually cheering for the Snakes because he likes snakes this weekend, and so I had to tell him that if he continued to cheer for the Snakes, that he might have to live outside.
Yeah, go sleep in the garage, kid.
Yep. But yeah, lost 3 of 4. What's that?
He really likes snakes.
He likes snakes. Yeah. I don't know.
Take him over to Ethan. We'll see how he feels about snakes when they see that there's one big in there enough to eat him.
Yeah. But tough weekend, especially coming off of a good Pirates series where we had a lot of excitement with Christopher Morale making his debut, with Brandon Hughes making his debut, and just a lot of where we had taken 3 straight series to go in and then kind of drop the ball a little bit, which this was kind of the week that we said 2 weeks ago. These next couple of weeks are going to be the ones that we're looking forward to, because we're playing the Pirates, we're playing the D-backs, and we're playing the Reds, which we're playing tonight, and we're up right now currently 7-4. There were games that we needed to win, and if we could have taken just split against Arizona, I feel like all of Cubs fandom would have been all right with a split, but losing 3 of 4 was a really tough pill to swallow, especially with the way we lost, being up early in almost all the games and then never really finishing it off. Especially Saturday's game was a tough loss.
Yeah. And it really sucks. Like Steele went 5 innings and allowed 1 hit, no runs. So all the damage they did was to our bullpen.
Yep. Saw Robertson having a tough time. Efros gave up a couple runs, which usually he's been lights out, which that was, I mean, you're going to have those once in a while from your bullpen. It's just tough because Steele again has pitched his 3rd straight really good game, and to not get him a win, that's why the win stat for pitchers is stupid. It's pointless, but we really want him to get that win. But let's go back and let's talk about a little bit of Christopher Morel. Where do you see Christopher Morel fitting into this team in the future?
Boy, I don't know. He started at shortstop tonight, right? Is that
Correct.
his natural position? Is that his natural position?
I mean, he's played kind of all over. I mean, last year when he came up with the Iowa Cubs, he was playing third base a lot. I know he's played some shortstop. He in minors, I think with Tennessee. For this year, he was playing center field, which he's played a little bit with the Cubs in center field. He's played third with the Cubs. He's going to be a utility guy, I believe, that just kind of floats around, moves around, kind of like a Ben Zobrist with maybe a little bit more, a lot more athleticism.
Yeah. I don't know. So since he's kind of like a Swiss Army knife and can play a bunch of different positions, I imagine that they'll use him in a fashion kind of like they use Bryant, where maybe some left, some first base, third base, short, kind of like that, and you platoon him and give starters rest, I guess.
Yeah.
Well, what do you think?
My thing is I don't think like Morel's not a guy you're going to build around, but Morel is a guy that is a key part of maybe our next championship team, of being that guy that can play multiple positions. Like you said, a Swiss Army knife that can do everything. You need those guys. You need the Chris Taylors like the Dodgers have that can play anywhere. I mean, that's what the great thing what the Dodgers have. They have guys. Gavin Lux can play multiple positions. Chris Taylor, multiple positions. Like they have guys that can kind of float around and fill in as needed. And I mean, they have a winning franchise and a team that's going to probably win the World Series this year.
Yeah, it makes it easier on a manager. Like the more positions you're willing to try and that you're willing to learn, especially like when the injury bug hits.
Yep.
He's not, well, my first baseman's hurt. I don't have another guy can play there. So this guy's going to have to figure it out like on the fly.
Yep. And with Higgins getting called up yesterday, they DFA'd Vargas, which, I mean, he was struggling at the plate, struggling out in the field, cost us a game earlier when he was playing with an error. So, I mean, I like that Morel's getting the start tonight. We need Nico back, though. I miss Nico's bat. I miss Nico making plays. Morel's played a good shortstop tonight, but we need Nico back in the lineup. I did post a video of Jake, who's another host of our podcast, talking a little bit about Morel today on Twitter. And so I'm going to play that video quick and hear what he has to say about Christopher Morel.
All right, guys, let's dive a little bit into the man of the hour, Christopher Morel. A lot of hype surrounding him after that first career at bat. Awesome, electric moment at Wrigley Field. Couldn't imagine what it was like being there. Watching it on TV was a lot of fun. But what can we expect from him down the road? So, according to MLB Pipeline, he lists 21st on the Cubs list of top 30 prospects. He is rated a 40 overall on an 80 grade scale, 65 arm, 60 run, 55 field. So he's got potential to be a good defender, and he's kind of probably pegged to be more of a utility type than to stick anywhere. And part of that is because of what he brings to the lineup. So historically, pretty high strikeout rate, really low on base percentage. His career OPS in the minors was 726. Of course, his 2022 season, which is still a pretty small sample size, only 28 games, he had an OPS of 945. He tends to hit the ball in the air, which is good. That's what you want to see. Fantrax has had a little bit more faith in him than MLB Pipeline does. They rate him as a 45 overall, and he's 16th according to their 2022 prospect list instead of 21st. They think that he has potential to really be a pretty solid utility bat. They comped him to the potential of having, Chris Taylor, the Dodgers utility man in his prime. And on a championship caliber team, you need a guy like Chris Taylor. So Christopher Morel, if he can live up to that expectation, that's a really great player that you have there. The problem is, as we saw, he kind of swings like Javi. He's got some Javi in him. We love that enthusiasm. We want that from a Cubs player. But he also has to know when to rein it in. They think if he can approach the gaps, to right and left center, he's going to be a really solid player and tap into his potential. So a lot on the plate here for Morel. It's going to be fun to watch. Regardless of performance, he's going to be fun to have on the field for the Cubs.
Yeah, my thing is I want to see, even when Nico and some of those guys come back, I want to see Morel stick around. I think we need that electric player out there in the field. We need that energy. We need that guy that can move and play everywhere. And he hasn't been scared in the moment. He came in the other night against Bednar for the Pirates, and we were down by 1 and worked a great at bat and ended up hitting one up the middle. He was on Bednar the whole time with his fastball. Morel had him timed up. And so, I love what Morel brings to this team. I think we need him. I like what we got with Christopher Morel. But when you look at this Cubs lineup, and I know we talked about it when we were at the Brewers game, when we were there live, of who is our big three on this team currently right now, the ones that's leading this team that we're going to see stick around and that we should build around. Who are you thinking there, Jeff?
Wilson for sure. I like Hap. This is probably the best start to a season he's had in probably 3. So I think he's really starting to emerge as one of the leaders of the team on the field. Anyway,
right now, Hap in 52 plate appearances has a 295 average, 295, 385, 432, and a 133 WRC plus, and a walk rate of 13.5. And tonight he has a double with a dinger.
Yeah, I picked him, so I get another dinger.
Well, I picked Wisdom. He got dinger, so we're both the golden there. But that's Hap. I feel like Hap has been the big bright spot this year. Sea's been great. It's been great to have him and see what he's done. Contreras has been doing awesome. Hopefully he comes back from his injury. But Hap, he's taken what he did last year towards the end of the season. Everybody was ready to write him off. I was included. I was ready to write Hap off after the All-Star break and just be done with him. But he's proved me wrong, and he's taken what he did last year and carried it over to this season and built upon it. He's gotten better this year than he was last year.
Yeah.
And so it makes the question of do we trade him or do we build around him? Which I think Jed's probably trying to answer that same question.
Right. I don't know. If he keeps it up through the All-Star break, I say you build around him. But is your question, it's just based on the 9 defensive positions? Because I really like the pitching that's coming up in our system, the homegrown stuff, Justin Steele and Keegan Thompson, and Caleb Killian is killing it. DJ Hers, but I don't, I struggle. There's some guys on the roster that haven't started hot, like Hermosillo. He's hurt.
Hermosillo.
We haven't seen Adbert Alzolay. We haven't seen dang it, the other pitcher, my favorite pitcher that threw no hitter last year. Oh, where's Lasses?
You got it.
The TA.
You got it. Alec Mills.
I can't think of. Yeah, Alec Mills. We haven't seen him yet.
What up, Andrew? In the chat. Yeah, I mean, when we have guys like you bring up Justin Steele and you bring up Keegan Thompson, there's only one pitcher in all of baseball who generates more soft contact than Keegan Thompson, and that's Zach Eflin from the Phillies, who I have on my fantasy baseball team. Just picked him up, by the way. But 30.3%, he's producing like soft contact. The next best for the Cubs is Wade Miley. So you have two guys that are like upper in the major leagues that produce soft contact. And the one thing with Keegan Thompson is I think team players just have a hard time squaring him up. They have a hard time barreling the ball up on him. And he, like what he did yesterday, coming in and pitching a solid, what was it, 4 innings?
I think 4.
4 innings. Like that's what we need. Like that's the type of guy that we need in the bullpen. I like to see him start, but he has kind of found his role and his niche in this team this year, and has been very, very successful. So for this year, yeah, I want to see Keegan Thompson keep building that confidence in what he's capable of doing. Maybe towards the end of the season, if we're totally out of it, moving back into the starting rotation. But we're going to have some guys, like I said last episode, we have a slew of guys that are ready to break out and do big things on the pitching side in our minor league system, ready to go. Caleb Killian is going to be coming up and shoving. Check out my interview with him last week that I had that dropped. He is just straight killing it down in Iowa. And we have a ton more that are coming through. So like, it's a good problem to have that we have this young talent. I want to see Justin Steele keep building upon his last 3 starts. Andrew says, how you guys feel about starting pitching, starting to stretch out 5+ and ER earned run starting to come down. I mean, I like that. That's what we kind of need. I like that Steele got to go a little bit further. I think with a shortened spring training, we were going to see a little bit less innings to start the season. I do want to see, especially with Steele, after batters see him a second time through the order, how will he fare? Because I know last year, he struggled with that. I want to see Elsley too. I really want Elsley back because I want to see how he does, because he struggled against lefties, couldn't get lefties out for anything. So I want to see our young pitching and be able to see what they do once they go a little bit deeper into games.
Yeah,
but Keegan Thompson has just been shoving it.
Yeah, I figured it'd take a little while for pitchers to kind of get stretched out to where they could go deep into a game, especially with the lockout and the shortened spring training. It's kind of up to themselves to work out, and I guess I don't know. I think I get more out of working out in a group, like in the CrossFit setting, than I do at home. So I imagine when you're by yourself, you're only going to do the things you want to do, and maybe not the things you should be doing. So yeah, no, it's great. I love it that they go 5+ into 6.
Well, at the beginning of the season, we were going on like a 4-man rotation. So getting like Miley back, getting Stroman back, like we actually have a rotation now, and we even have like Caleb Killian knocking at the door. We have Keegan Thompson, we've had to move back into, who was successful and had a great start. We had to move him back into the bullpen, which, I mean, it's going to shore up our starting pitching a little bit. It's going to allow those guys to go a little bit deeper into games.
Kind of touching on that wins for pitchers, like Drew Smyly hasn't really pitched that bad this season.
No.
I mean, his record doesn't show it, but it's just a lot of the games he pitched, he didn't get a lot of run support, so he wound up with either losses or no decisions. So even he's pitching pretty fantastic.
Yep. Have him on my fantasy team. He's helped me out a little bit. Andrew also says, how do you feel Elsley could be another Thompson type long reliever in the bullpen guy, or should he come back as a starting pitcher? I know towards the end of last season, when he moved to the rotation, to the bullpen, he fared a lot better. He's kind of one that's like Steele. He's a 2-pitch pitcher, and to be a starter, he needs a 3rd pitch to be able to be successful. And so it kind of depends on what he worked on in the offseason, if he could command that changeup and be able to work it away from left-handed bats. He needed another pitch to be able to get left-handed bats out. And right now
Yeah.
he didn't. He only had 2 pitches that could really be effective and they could throw for strikes and command. And so that's where it's going to depend. I would like to see him start as a starter and see what we have in him. Cause I still do want, like we said, this year's kind of a throwaway year. Let's see what we have. We need to give. I'm ready to be done with Hayward. I'm ready to be done with almost VR. I'm ready to be done with some of these other players because I want to know what we have in our future. And so the guys that we want to give a shot for our future, they should be the ones that should be playing.
Mm-hmm. I don't disagree with you on that note front. I think you got to give Adbert a couple of starts to see where he's at. But the bad thing is, since he's coming off an injury, they're going to probably have him on a pitch count.
Yeah, and he'll probably come out of the pen. I'm guessing he'll come out of the pen.
Yeah.
The other one right now, there's no spot in the rotation for him unless at the trade deadline we end up trading Stroman or trading Miley, and that opens up a spot, or trading Smiley, who's pitched really, really good, pitched another good game tonight. Cubs just got the W, so fly the W flag there, boys. Cubbies get a win. Go Cubs, go. So yeah, it'll kind of depend on a little bit of that. But let's look forward because, like we said, the Cubs got a win in the first game tonight versus the Reds. It's the first of 4. Tomorrow is Stroman versus Tyler Mahle. And then game 3, Kyle Hendricks versus Castillo. And then game 4, Justin Steele versus Hunter Green. Hunter Green is the rookie who throws just gas. Has not had a good run support. He's the one who threw, him and another guy threw a no-hitter for the Reds and still got the L versus the Pirates because they lost 1-0 on throwing air. So, like we said before, these are games that we need to win. Everybody's been sweeping the Reds. To take 4, that would mean if we won these 4 straight, we would only be 4 games behind 500. We'd be 4 games behind being 500 baseball team. So we win 8 straight games. We're a 500 baseball club, and then we're right back in it.
Oh yeah, it's a long season. There's nothing to get down about. Yeah, we started slow, but I think things are starting to come together. I think the coaching staff's figuring out what they got, who they can plug in where, and have it work. So.
Yeah, the one thing is that we need to, as fans, keep. I know it's tough. I know I've listened to some other podcasters. I've listened to some other big name people in Cubs fandom that are struggling right now with the kind of the roller coaster that the Cubs go on, and they kind of been riding the roller coaster with them. Like they get so emotional on these losses, and then they get pretty bad and pretty negative at whether it's the ownership or whatever it is. I'm going to continue supporting these players because I like watching Cubs baseball and watching, especially this team. It's been a fun team to watch, even in the losses. There's no quitting them. They keep fighting, even if it's like a fake rally. It still has me watching till the end of the game, and so that's all you can ask for. Like even this weekend, I was watching my son's baseball tournament, but I had the game up on my phone because I wanted to watch the Cubs. I wanted to know what was going on. Like I'm invested in this team, so we need to keep being invested in this team. We got a fun team. And Ian Happ is killing the ball, and we need to support Ian Happ and Connect Roasters and the Compound Podcast because they're good guys.
Yeah. If you're upset and unhappy with the way the team is playing, just imagine how that team played in April and May of 2020. Oh, wait. They didn't. There was no baseball. Just be happy there's baseball.
Oh, Andrew again brings up getting Bodie back. Yes, Bodie's down at Iowa. I saw him this weekend. Stopped in. Yeah, he's knocking at the door and has had some really good at bats down there at Iowa, playing some really good baseball. But you get him, you get Madrigal back. I don't know what they're going to do with VR. VR, I feel like, was signed as kind of a backup to Wisdom if he didn't work out. Insurance for Wisdom if Wisdom didn't work out. But Wisdom's been playing good ball, and VR's hasn't been great to start the season. He's been playing better as of lately. His bat's been coming around, but as of 2 weeks ago, he was rated the worst fielder and hitter in all of baseball. And so it'll be interesting how they get mixed playing time between all these guys if they do keep up Christopher Morel, how they balance. I'm guessing he's going to slide into the outfield and maybe take some time away from Ortega. But you have Morel, you'll have Horner back, you'll have Bodie, you'll have Madrigal. Like, we started the season with a slew of outfielders, and then now we're going to have a slew of infielders of trying to figure out what to do. I'm glad I'm not David Ross trying to figure out playing time and trying to make everybody happy, because that's a tough job. Somebody's going to get cut. Somebody's going to get DFA'd.
It's like on a rec basketball team, and you turn and look at the bench. Who hasn't played? All right, go in there. Everybody goes. Go.
Your team. But no, not you. You sit back down. But you get in there.
Yeah.
That might be what VR. Like, you go in. No, not you. But yeah, I do want to see Madrigal back in the lineup. I know some people are pretty down on Madrigal right now. I want to see what we got in him. If not, we can trade him later, but I want to know what we have in Madrigal. I think we need to give him some time in there at second base. But yeah, with Bodie coming back in the mix too, like that's just another guy that's going to probably play a lot of second base. We saw even last year, Bodie started the season as our starting second baseman. And so I know Bodie can play third, but that's going to take away at bats from Wisdom. But I feel like Bodie's going to be playing third when Wisdom goes on his cold stretch, because he's a freaking roller coaster this year of like hot stretch, cold stretch, hot stretch, cold stretch. And so right now he's hot. He's hitting dingers. I think he's had 4 straight games with home runs. So we're just going to Bodie might be the guy that they fill in for that. Yeah, but we got to win tonight. Final was 7-4. 7-4.
Put some runs on the board. Ian Happ
continues to mash. But yeah, that does it for this episode. We're going to keep this one short. We'll be back at it next week with hopefully the full Dingers crew, all 4 of us. I know Kevin was gone tonight. His son had a baseball game, and I don't know what Jake was doing. Said he had something going on.
Jake had family over, so he couldn't get on the podcast.
There you go. So we won tonight. Hopefully we can carry it over and get a 4-game sweep of the Reds and get back into this thing. All right. That does it for episode 82 of the Dingers podcast.